Good afternoon and welcome to Consumer Thursdays. I'm George Robnett, Community Engagement Coordinator with Consumer Council of Missouri. Also with us today is, of course, Antonio Weston, our specialist and producer of this event and all of our events on social media. But our special guest today is Mr. Paul Englert. Mr. Englert is a weatherization and energy efficiency specialist with over 25 years of experience performing energy efficiency measures throughout the state of Missouri and in Illinois as well during his career. We're grateful to have Paul with us today and share some of his knowledge. I can share with you and tell you from my own personal experience, Paul has assisted hundreds of families with energy efficiency measures and weatherization throughout the state. And I don't mean just St. Louis alone, but I mean throughout the state. With that, welcome, Mr. Englert.
Well, thanks for having me, George. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate having you here, sir. It was a great day. Paul, let me ask, what are some of the energy saving tips you could give some of our customers, our audience? You know, we work with a wide variety of individuals and consumers throughout the state of Missouri. But what are some of the tips you can provide them with on how to be more on save energy tips?
Yeah, absolutely. Number one tip I have, and this is for everybody, I mean, everybody, is to check your furnace filter on a regular basis. That's it's the utmost important thing you can do to keep your system operational at its best efficiency, especially when you need it the most. I mean, right now it's been sub-zero, it's been really cold, and if your filter is clogged, it's actually going to shut your furnace down. So checking that on a regular basis, monthly, and changing that when it starts to get dirty is the number one thing you can do. Another thing you can do, kind of preventative maintenance, is also taking care of your furnace and your air conditioner. Have them tuned up before you actually need them. That way, the HVAC contractors are not busy. They're kind of looking for work when the weather is, not as cold or as warm. Um, but they'll come out and they'll actually check your system, make sure it's operating efficiently and everything is working properly. And like you said, being proactive. Well, if there is a problem with that, you'll have plenty of time to get that corrected before you actually need it. So that's two of the top things that I would always recommend doing. A programmable thermostat, George, is the easiest thing to do. The utility companies have rebates for them if you do not have them. They have them for programmable and for smart thermostats. But there's no sense if you're working during the day or in the evening, whatever, or when you're sleeping. There's no sense keeping your home heated at the temperature you normally would keep it at when you're home, because it's just wasting energy at that point. So programmable thermostat is a big thing. Sunny day, take advantage of the sun, open your blinds, let that free energy come in, heat up your house. Um, it's free. Every time that whatever the sun touches, it'll heat up that surface. And then when it gets dark out, close the blinds, keep the heat in, and then that heat will come out of that material and help heat your house, so your furnace or your air conditioner isn't working as hard when you need it when you need it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Paul. That's a lot of great tips for some of our homeowners and some of our renters, in the St. Louis metropolitan area and surrounding areas. Let me ask you another question. What are some of the more energy efficiency measures or recommendations you can give to a homeowner or renter that they can perform themselves? And if you know what I'm saying, these are steps that things that they can actually do to help, reduce that airflow.
Absolutely. Yeah, airflow, you hit on the key. Keeping the cold air out in the wintertime is very important. Vice versa, in the summertime, keeping the hot air out and keeping the cold air in is very important. You paid for that, so you want to keep it in your living space as long as possible. Some of the easier things to do are, weather strippings on doors. you have the pieces on the sides. You can also put a sweep at the bottom. But there's a real simple check that you can to do to see if you need weather stripping. Take a piece of paper or a dollar bill, close that in the door, and then when you go to pull it out, if it pulls out real easy, then you're losing air at that point. So you might, be advantageous to invest in a weather stripping kit you can get at a local box store. The only thing you'll really need is a pair of tin snips or cutters to cut the pieces down to size. But once you purchase that, it's real easy to install. They just screw in place or nail in place, and that'll help slow the transfer of the cold air coming into your house. Same thing with the door sweep at the bottom. It's very important to keep those drafts out. To do that, caulking is very important. Now is not the time of year to do the caulking. Be good, again, a preventative maintenance thing to when you're having your system looked at by an HVAC professional. Um, to look at the outside of your house, look at the windows, look at the doors, make sure that the caulk is in good shape. Not only does caulk keep the air from coming and going from your house, but it also keeps the water out of your house. So making sure that you have a solid barrier to prevent water from coming into your house, besides being energy efficient, helps keep the structure, the integrity of the structure intact for a longer time. It's very helpful. Water is very destructive to a house, as you know.
So true. So true. Let me ask you. Let me ask you about the weatherization program. Um, I mean, is weatherization really beneficial for folks to participate in a weatherization program?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I highly recommend that for, to take care of a lot of the energy efficiency upgrades. I mean, the stuff that we just talked about is, simple things to do, but I'm not sure if I know anybody who really wants to get up in an attic and crawl around and find all these openings. I know I did it when I was younger.
Right.
I don't do that anymore, George. I don't know about you, but I'm done with that.
Understand.
And there's a lot of things that are up in your attic that a professional will be able to get to and seal up. And we talked about keeping the hot air in your house, during the winter and cold air in during the summer. There's a lot of openings that are up in the attic plane that you can't see, that are very small, that allow this, the air to come and go as it wants right now. Weatherization program will actually have professionals get up in the attic, find as many of these openings as they can, seal them up properly, and then at that point they'll insulate over the top of it. So visit your local community action agency or nonprofits in the area. It's an application program. Of course, it's an income-based program, as you know, but they're always accepting applications. Highly recommend everybody that to utilize the weatherization program. And the big thing is, after you qualify, and there's no cost to anything.
Right.
So that's a huge incentive to do that.
What organization, you talked about the community action agencies, and is there other agencies around the area that provide that service, that weatherization program?
There are. I don't think they do it to the extent that the weatherization program does it. There's some, smaller agencies. I don't know any off the top of my head that will provide some weatherization work. They might be able to put weather stripping on the doors, like we talked, maybe some window film and stuff like that. They might be a good source for furnace filters. There's a lot of different programs. But yeah, there are.
Is the weatherization program only available to homeowners?
Absolutely not. It's available to homeowners and renters.
No.
For renters, the only thing they would need is a landlord permission, because they have to sign off on that. And if correct me if I'm wrong, but it's only up to what, fiveplex, or you can do that, and then you get into the huge multifamily stuff.
Yes.
But, yeah, we don't. I mean, basically, we're talking about the single family up to 5 units weatherization program.
Absolutely. Are there any special programs for those considering replacing or in the need to replace their furnace or mechanical systems that you are aware of?
Yeah, I mean, the weatherization program will
Mhm.
look at that equipment also, and if it
Okay.
qualifies to be replaced, they will do that also. But if you don't qualify for the weatherization program, the utilities have many programs that you can look at. The first one that comes to mind is called Pay as You Save or Pays.
Mhm.
The good thing about this program is there's no credit checks. So, and the equipment is tied to the home. It's not so much on the homeowner that is going to qualify to get the equipment. So if you get the work done and in 5 years you want to move, then the new people who take over, who purchase your home, would actually take over the payments because they're receiving the energy efficiency benefits of that new
Right,
equipment.
right.
So they actually they'll look at equipment, see if it qualifies. They can also do some insulation and weatherization work too through that program. And the nice thing about it, if you're an Ameren or Aspire customer, all that stuff goes right on your bill. So there's no additional bills or anything. And the premise behind the whole program is that you're going to pay less than, I always get this, you're going to save money by performing these upgrades, going with more energy efficiency equipment, and your payments are going to be less than what you're actually saving. So you're coming out ahead in the whole scheme of things. I know Aspire, they have an on-bill financing program for people. This is a credit-based program, but you can actually put an entire HVAC system on your Aspire bill. I think it's up to
Mhm.
$50,000 spread out over 7 years.
Well,
And so, that furnace, AC, if you need a humidifier, some other work, you can all roll that into. You just need to use one of their approved contractors to um, to 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 take advantage of that program.
fantastic, fantastic. I think you answered my next question, Paul. It came to my attention. There's an 86-year-old lady
And
who, one of our older adults living independently, who is in need of a new furnace. Recently, as a result of all this cold weather we've had, her furnace went out the other day, and as a result, she doesn't have any heat. I mean, her furnace is not working. And of course, when the contractor came out and supposedly informed her she needed a $7,000 new furnace, and but I look like the PAYS program might be one that's beneficial for her. I'm sure she probably owns a home by now, and she could, pay as she goes and save on her utilities as well.
yeah,
And then you also indicated, if I'm not mistaken, Aspire has programs as well, if I'm not mistaken. Hmm.
yeah. Spire has some programs for that. I mean, they have a program what's called the Red Tag program,
Okay.
and it's an income-based program. Um, you need to contact them if you're, you know, to see if you qualify. But once you qualify for that program, then Spire will give you up to $2,000 per their fiscal year, which starts October 1st, towards the replacement or repair of the furnace or even the water heaters. I mean, they include water heater now.
Yeah.
They had their tariff changed, so that is a big help for that also. And even gas leaks. But back to this person. Well, first of all, I hope the person was able to get some help, and she
Yeah.
has some, because I mean, this time of year when it's that cold, it's very dangerous. So you want to make sure that they're taken care of. Even with the with deal with working with the utilities through the red tag program, we always try to. I'm sorry, we got retired from spiders, so uh, still new to me. But the utilities have a great working relationship with the community action agencies and the weatherization program. and emergencies like this, they're set up to handle that. They can work maybe a little bit quicker to get this person the heat that they need and take advantage of all these other programs too. So reach out to the utilities, and then also reach out to the community action agencies or the nonprofits, and see what kind of help you can get. There's emergency things that definitely make it happen for them.
Will do. Paul, I sincerely appreciate your time, your consideration, and your expertise. We'll be sharing this with our viewers, and hopefully they will be able to benefit from some of your tips and uh, energy efficiency measures you recommended. And if needed, take advantage of some of the programs, whether it be Red Tag or whether it be PACE program.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of programs out there.
Yeah.
Just reach out. As I said, the utilities are a great resource. Both Ameren and Spire for a lot of different programs, and a lot of people just don't know they're available. So all you gotta do is ask.
I got you. I started smiling. I won't keep this on long, but I noticed that on your sweatshirt, I think that's the flag from Augusta Golf Course.
You're very observant, George.
Very observant.
You know where my mind is.
Enjoyed it, my friend.
Same here.
Good day, and we will talk to you later.
All right, Antonio, nice meeting you.
Same here.
All right, take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.